Hi, welcome. In this video, as part of my series called Flipping the Script, I want to take a look at, again, names that pop up on my social media feed. One of these names that pops up quite a bit is Nino Droweart. Hopefully I pronounced that right. And again, this guy's got, 500,000 followers. You see him all over social media. And so here, very interesting, because again, going down through some of his social media here, and with dogs that you see, spinning around, that are responding, going into certain positions. And here's an example here. You see this dog just, you know, in this individual here, it's got her hand, and this is something that you see in all these videos here tied into, and you can tell tied into using motivating agents, okay, at a very high level to generate responses. But the thing here, again, I talk about a interaction-based approach to training, okay, with those two core ingredients. I talk about influence and control being part of a process and how that generates the right type of focus, okay, onto the dog owner by way of perception of dogs changing the right way versus using motivating agents, okay. It could be treats. It could be here. You go up here, you'll see this dog holding on to a tug toy. And here you see this dog, and this is the disconnect part. You see this dog that is just so, overly intense and focused on this individual's hand area, okay, as she gets this dog to do respond, and again, promoting the responses. Well, just look at this, look at the thing that says like 20 responses in 20 seconds. But again, the question is, what's training really about? But then the question is, well, what actually, changes perceptions of dogs in terms of being seen the right way? Because understand, I talk about, the context of focus. Okay, again, I use the parenting example as we go down and look at another video here. Once again, you see the hand down here, and you see, again, engaging in using treats at a very high level, But the question is, what motivates change that way? Is it in terms of using treats? Is that even a good idea to engage this way? Is it just about responses this way? And the answer is absolutely not. Okay, I talk about those two core ingredients through influence and control and speaking the right language. But here I talk about the superficial way in which trainers are engaging dogs. But you see, again, when I talk about context of focus, it's no different than when trainers talk about focus. It's the example I use, the pairing example, how they talk about focus because it lacks depth or context. It's no different than a, overly permissive parent saying, well, I have my child overly focuses, I have great focus. The child always comes to me for, what they want and tying that into certain responses. But, the issue becomes that of the relationship itself, context of focus, the motives that underpin response. I talk about the motives that underpin responses themselves. Are those motives aligned properly through the relationship? And so here you see this spinning, twisting, again, superficial. You see, again, same thing here. Because really, you look at this and say, what the heck? Like, what is this really about? This becomes just about superficial, just about a show about the human. Is this even about the relationship the right way? It's almost like treating a dog like a robot. I mean, it's so ridiculous to me to see this. But then again, you go into this whole thing about those, core ingredients. This plays a tremendous role and leads people into assuming things that aren't true in terms of beyond just superficial response. Because understand that this is obviously the major theme here with this trainer. Same thing. Look at this, all the spinning going under legs and all this stuff. You see a lot of this stuff. And that's not to say that, a certain level of focus can be achieved, but the level of engagement this way, it's just like trick dog training. It's just like something like, kind of like Zach George, Frisbee type stuff. But again, I just wanted to comment because again, you see trainers' names all over the place, but you look at this and say, what is it really about? Because I understand that when you have a relationship problem with your dog, it represents the fact that, the behavioral issues themselves, how you're perceived, the relationship, and then tying in those core ingredients to a intentional interaction based approach versus using treats and doing this type of thing. Because I understand that, yes, you can get just like you can get a selfish child to make their bed or pick up their toys for a brand new Xbox game. It doesn't represent whatsoever the relationship is getting better if your role isn't defined properly. If you're not interacting with the child, if parental influence isn't part of the equation, then it's all about just appearances, and this is the problem in the dog training world. And you see so much of this stuff where it's just like showy. But then the point is, what is this really about? Is it what's this actually intended to establish or do? It's just like to say, okay, yeah, the dog can do 20 responses in 20 seconds. What's the criteria to establish that those responses represent that relationship change is even happening? Well, the only way that can be established, the criteria, is if those core ingredients are reconciled through a intentional interaction based method. This is why you'll see that contrast set up. You get a dog on the leash, and you bring a dog under intentional control. So all to say, you see a lot of stuff on social media. I've seen this guy's name popping up, and this is the first time I've actually taken a kind of a look at, how he engages, training. But clearly, this is all about just, bribery, bribing dogs, listening these responses, and just showboat, just basically showboat type of a approach. Thanks for watching.